Well, you know something? Do you want to know something, I should say? I don't think I will ever go to Disney World again. My kids are definitely young enough to go there. Pink slips at Disney, firing, letting people go. But first, you must train your foreign replacement. Wow. Orlando, Florida. The employees who kept the data systems humming in the vast Walt Disney fantasy fief did not suspect trouble when they were suddenly summoned to the meetings with their boss. While families were busy riding the Seven Dwarfs mine train and search for Nemo on clammobiles in the theme parks, these workers monitored computers in industrial buildings nearby, making sure millions of Walt Disney World ticket sales, store purchases, and hotel reservations went through without a hitch. Some were performing so well that they thought they were being summoned in for bonuses. Guys, I'm sorry, this isn't J Snip 4 throwing you a bonus. It's not. Instead, about 250 Disney employees were told in late October that they would be laid off. Many of their jobs were transferred to immigrants on temporary visas for highly skilled technical workers who were brought in by an outsourcing firm based in India. Over the next 3 months, some Disney employees were required to train their replacements to do the jobs that they had lost. Quote, I just couldn't believe they could fly people in to sit at our desks and take over our jobs exactly, said one former worker, an American in his 40s who remains unemployed since his last day at Disney on January 30th. Quote, it was so humiliating to train somebody else to take your job. I still can't grasp it. Dear blank, as you are aware, Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, U.S., Inc., hereinafter the company, made the difficult decision to eliminate certain positions, including yours, from the technology organization. As a result, you will be separated from the company on or about January 30th, 2015. In addition to your regular salary and benefits, if you remain an employee in good standing with the company through the date you are separated by the company, as a result of the transition of your work to a managed service provider hereinafter the separation date, and you do not find or accept a position at a different location within the company or with any of its subsidiaries, affiliates, divisions, or related entities, you will receive a lump sum payment equal to 10% of your base salary as of your separation date, less applicable withholding and deductions. Now, why would they give you a bonus for leaving? Because they don't want you to say, hey, who's this new guy sitting at my desk with me? Oh, that's the guy you're going to train to take your job. You might say, F you, I'm leaving. Like, no, you're doing this to me anyway, screw you, I'm out of here. Let him figure it out himself. So, hold on. If you remain an employee in good standing with the company through the date you are separated by the company as a result of the transition of your work to a managed service provider, i.e. India, blah, 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 you'll get 10% bonus. There's that bonus. Well, I guess I might as well stay because I'll get 10% of my salary for helping out here. I'm going to be leaving anyway, so I might as well just stay and collect the money. Right? Exactly. That's exactly why they did that. The executives from Disney said that the layoffs were part of a reorganization and that the company opened more positions than it eliminated. So what are you guys talking about? Well, I'll tell you what they're talking about. If you're making 80, 90, 100,000 in the technology organization for Disney, And they just bought in your replacement, and he is over here for a little more than minimum wage or minimum wage, doing a technical job that, again, in America paid you $80,000, $90,000 a year. We could hire 3 of him for less than your salary, or 3 of them at $30,000 a year even, and equal your salary. So we can get 3 of those guys for 1 of you. So keep in mind, if 3 of those guys equals 1 of you, and we just let off, I don't know how many it didn't say. I'll be nice and just say 20 people got laid off from Disney. Yeah, I'm sure it was just 20. I'll be nice, just 20. Well, they just were able to hire 60 for what it cost them to keep 20. Same price. Now they have 60 employees. The bottom line is, if it were 20, it was 20 because that's what the positions they require. We need 20 of these types of people here. That's what the employment need is. They're not going to hire 60 people. They're going to keep it at 20. So they just took off 2/3 of their outgoing pay. So me and you should be, as an American, saying, you know what, Disney? We could all appreciate people cutting expenses and that sort of thing. But you just let a bunch of Americans go in this economy to bring in some Indians? Matter of fact, I don't care what country they're from, to tell you the truth. I don't care. You brought in immigrants who will work like slaves for slave wages. And for that reason, Disney, I am vouching to never, ever, ever go to your park. Take my kids to your park. I don't care if some friend of my kids, whatever, has a birthday party and for some reason they've invited people to go to, a few of their friends to go to Disney and my kids are chosen. Guess what? We thank you dearly for inviting us. You're even going to pay for it. That's unbelievable. But I'm going to have to share the story with their mom. Listen, I vouched on YouTube. I'll never go back there again for this reason. You probably didn't even know this happened because you're probably not paying attention to anything like most Americans anyways. But because we're friends and all, I'm going to inform you, because I'm very informed on all kinds of different matters, that what they did to these American people who are working there. And now they're being replaced by Indians. Now keep in mind, you're not going to bump into these people at the park, I don't think. Because this is a technology group that's not even inside the park facilities, it's nearby. So you're not even going to see them. However, Disney's going to say, man, that worked out well. That worked out real well. Let's start replacing some of the inside park employees who are already making, maybe minimum, probably a little more than minimum wage. And let's bring in some of these guys for minimum wage. They're not the technology side anymore. This is a lower paying job, of course, but there's plenty of Indians or other migrants that would like to come in here and do it. And their plan probably is say, well, you guys have temporary visas. So what we're going to do as Disney, we are going to bring in the next batch of immigrants, who are also on visas, work visas. And if these visas are 6 months to a year long, whatever it may be, a good month or two in advance, we're going to bring in the new crew so that the old crew, who probably will know them, hey, you guys are from India, so are we. This is cool, man. Oh, okay. We'll train them, and they're not going to be upset. Oh, we're losing our job. No, they already know. My work visa's expiring. I got to go back anyways. No big deal. I'll gladly train you, buddy. You take over. And they're going to do it in a heartbeat because they're used to not having really any money in India and coming over here, making it, again, the expenses comes with it. So they're going to come here and have to live somewhere. But I wouldn't be surprised if you find a bunch of these Indians with work visas saying, hey, let's all room up together in this big apartment or whatever, and there's a bunch of us inside here paying the bills. We will survive. As a matter of fact, we will still survive way better than we were off, better off than when we were in India. So we will gladly do it. So this is interesting because here's my own JSTEP4 story. I mentioned recently I'm doing this remote control software, PC software. I'm just about done with it. My web developers who have modified my website to work better and facilitate my needs as to provide this service where people can sign into the website, pick a plan. How many computers do you need to remote control? Okay, well here's the yearly fee for that. And you go in, log in, set up your computers. Okay, you've got a 5 PC account, then create your 5 PC names and the passwords will be there. Once you generate the names, you take those names and passwords, go to the PC you want to put this on, install it. It's going to ask you what name and password did you give it. Here it is. Okay, now it's installed on there. Now you take my software, open the software, and it's got your computers right there. You can right click, connect, disconnect, restart the computer, whatever. So I'm writing that part of the program, but the website part where you can log into the website and add a computer and it talks to the rest of my system that adds the accounts so that, it keeps track of who's allowed to have how many computers and this and that. That's all done on the website. And it's in a language, computer language known as PHP. I do not know PHP. And I thought, well, should I start training myself like I've done all my life to start learning it? And I thought, no. Now's not the time because it's going to take me a while to figure that one out. And even if I figure it out, am I doing it the right way? Is this going to be the proper way to set up these PHP pages, or are there going to be security vulnerabilities? No, I can't do it. So where did I go? Freelancer.com. 5 or 6 million people are on that site as workers, as hey, I'm a freelancer, developer. And it's not just the developer, like, okay, PHP, it's every computer language you can think of is on there. People who do, photographic editing or just effects. I mean, you name it. Just anything technical you can find on freelancer.org so that someone else can do. So I put a bid up, and this is a worldwide website. I explain in my summary, this is what the site I have. This is the technology I'm currently using on the website. There's a website-based platform I'm using. They make quite a few plugins for this platform, but I found a plugin that works for subscriptions, but it's very basic, and it allows you to have access to my other pages. I don't want access to my other pages. I need a whole bunch of new pages created that have completely different functionality. And since the plugin's already there, and I bought it and own it, I'd like you to modify the plugin or add to the plugin. And here's what I need done. My summary. Submit. Here's the amount of money I'm willing to pay for this. Between this range and that range. Submit. Within minutes, if that, email. You've got a bid. Dang, that was fast. Holy cow. The web page is still up. I was still in there rereading my summary. Oh, okay, let me see who's got the bids. What do you got here? Okay, this one's from Pakistan, India, Pakistan, India, Canada. That's beeping at me. Why? Not paying attention. So 90% plus, probably 95% of the replies, India. That's funny. Universal or Disney, who'd you guys have? From India. Huh. Now, I didn't ask. I didn't say Americans only. I'd rather give one of my people this job. I just gave it to the whole world. Who can do this? Because you don't have to be here in an office. You can do this remotely. I'm going to give you FTP access to my website. You'll have administrator access to the back end of the website. That's all you need. So they can do that from anywhere in the world, naturally. But I found it pretty amazing that 90-something% of the replies were from India. And not even a single. I don't even know if there was. I'm trying to think, was there an American? I felt like there might have been one, and it was 3 times the cost of anybody else that replied. So here I am saying to myself, boy, I'd like to hire an American. I would. I'm an American. I'd like to give someone a little piece of this little job I've got here. But you want 3 times the amount to do something the whole rest of the world who's replied, mostly India and some from Pakistan even, all in the same ballpark, they want to do this for. Not only that, you don't have a 5-star review, neither does the Canadian, but quite a few of these Indians do. And they've got quite a bit of work under their belt because I can read their reviews right on the website. So I thought to myself, okay, let me reach out to a few of these people to see. And the first one I reached out to was someone in Pakistan. And he wasn't qualified and even told me, man, this is a little more than, I got into a little more detail with him because I can only write a summary. And he said, yeah, I'm going to just retract my bid and, this is a little bit more than I can probably do. I said, all right, appreciate that, no problem. So I went to a higher bid, still from India, still 3 times less than what the other one wanted. And the one from Canada, I think, wanted around 2/3 of that price of what everyone else was doing it for. And I went to another one. And 5-star review, everyone said they were extremely happy with this person. So I hit, contact, gave them the additional stuff I talked about. Yeah, we could do it, but I can't do it for that price. I got to go them up a little bit. And I've already added some things in my mind. I'm like, okay, well, I want it to do that too, and I needed to have that addition put on. Well, this is after I submitted the original summary. But I'm still looking at everybody's first price too, and they're still, the one I think American was way high, Canadian was second highest, and then India and Pakistan were left. So I knew whoever I ultimately hired was going to tell me I can't do it for that price. I got to come up a little bit. I already knew that because of the additional stuff that I thought of in the meanwhile after just submitting that. So they came up a little bit on their price. I agreed. You confident you could do this? Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'll the website itself, the freelancer.com, has the ability for you to put funds in there, so it's going to either charge your credit card or PayPal account immediately. So if you say this little project you got going on is $500, you don't want to give someone across the world $500 that you can't get back in case they take the money and run. So what happens is it's kind of like it becomes the median place or the mediator, and you're going to say, okay, well, it's $500, so here, take the $500. He can't get it, he or she can't get it, and I've given it to your system, but I'm going to give a little milestone, they call it, of $100 of the $500 to get you started. And when I see a little bit of results on 3 days from now, you'll get another milestone, and then another one, and then I'll give you the $500 in full. So I may have $200 or $300 remaining to give you. So sure enough, same thing applied here. Here's a couple $100. Get started. Okay, they got started. They showed me some stuff. Okay, well, yep, I see it on the website. Good. Here's another milestone. Here's another milestone. And while I'm doing this, I'm realizing, man, I still need some more features out. I got to make sure it can do this too. But I need them to get done with the main bulk of this first. Once he does that, he or she, I'm not even sure what they are yet. I'm going to give them some more because these guys definitely know what they're doing. So I told them, look, I'm just going to give you a little bonus through PayPal right now. And then in the future, after you're done with, when I give you the final payment to get this out of the way, I got another project that has to do with this website. I just need some more features that I want you guys to work on, and I'll just pay you through PayPal if that's okay. He said, yeah, absolutely. And again, I keep saying he. I don't know if it's a he or a she, to tell you the truth. So, great. So here am I. Would like to hire an American, but I'm not going to pay you so you could live potentially your lavish lifestyle, right? That's where some of this comes from. I'm a programmer. I've been doing this for 15, 20 years. I demand a huge salary, and I'm a freelancer, but you're going to pay for my services. Okay? But when competition comes in, and again, this is worldwide, it's a little hard to look at someone like that and say, yeah, let me give you 2-3 times the amount of money I'm going to give everybody else, just so that I can say I hired an American. So I can see that side of this. I had nothing left to choose but Indians. Really. Disney, on the other hand, who's raping and pillaging other Americans with their outrageous fees to go to that theme park aren't doing this just to, well, because we're struggling a little bit and the profits are down and we're going to have to let people go. No. We don't want any recession here at Disney for the upper management, CEO, ownership, shareholders, etc., members of the board. We're not going to deal with any kind of recession. We don't even want to hear that word. So we're still going to rape and pillage you with that fee, which keeps going up if you haven't noticed. But we're just going to go ahead and cut corners with our employment to offset that. So that, my friends, is a little bit different. If I'm a company, which I think I'm about to become, by the way, with this software, and ultimately my plan is to say, okay, thank you Indians, you guys hooked me up. Here's some money that we all agreed on. You're good to go. Now that I'm making money and I can afford to hire somebody else, first person I'm going to hire is a PHP developer that also knows either C# or VisualBasic.net. I know VisualBasic.net. So that you can look at my program, the one that I created, and say, man, why did you do things that way? Yeah, I'd probably done that a little differently. Yeah, you don't need that in there, or add this or do that. Someone who's like way beyond me on the programming level, who can take my program and just basically make it absolutely perfect. Maybe add some more additional features that I haven't added to the program. But you can also work on that website for me. Now I'm going to hire an American for an American salary because the money that's coming in says I can do that. Or I could say, no, let me go hire an Indian and keep that long distance relationship going for this type of work. No, not going to do it. I'm going to hire an American. Have to. Will do it. And the next person I hire, maybe if there needs to be a sales position, I'm not putting an advertisement in for people with visas from India. It's going to be normal channels, American. Hey, hiring, here's the base pay, here's commission when you make a sale, blah, blah, blah. Done. So that's my plan. But again, you see both sides, and it's very odd. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Is any person in their right mind, if you could pull up to a gas station, let me give you another example. Circle K gas station, or now the new Wawa gas stations they're putting all over the place here in Florida. And Circle K has gas for $5 a gallon, $6 a gallon. Got to have the same math. $6 a gallon. And Wawa has gas for $2 a gallon. It's the same gas. You get the same result. Your car goes the same distance. Who in their right mind is just because Wawa was founded by Americans, is going to go to Wawa and pay $6? Nobody's going to do that. Wawa is going to be empty. It's going to have an empty parking lot. You're not even going to realize that they're open. It's going to be that dead because why? Because, give you that same example in real life. 2008, as Lindsey Williams correctly predicted prior to this happenings, the price of gas is going to skyrocket, $4 to $5 a gallon. It's coming. Sure enough, it happened exactly as he said. And during that ramp up from the beginning of 2008 to the middle of 2008 is when this happened. The price skyrocketed. All of a sudden, biodiesel, small firms popping up all over the place. Biodiesel, truckers protesting. This is way too much because if gas was $4 and $5 a gallon for gasoline, diesel was even more. So truckers striking. We can't work for these for this because it's killing our profits. We're gonna have to close up shop. So all of a sudden, biodiesel comes up. Hey, our prices are basically where gas used to be, roughly, and it's better than this, what you were paying now. So use our biodiesel. Truckers vouched, you got that right. Screw these gas companies. Bastards, how could they do that to us? As you also remember, possibly, if you remember this, July was the peak of gas prices. As Lindsey Williams said, while that was happening, it's going down to $50 a barrel from $150, by the way. Oh, come on, Lindsey, you're out of your mind. It's going down to 50 and below, around 50 and below, and it's going to be happening soon. By the end of the year, it was there. Thanks, Lindsey Williams. All those people, I'm not messing with you gas companies. You did this to us. Even though really it's Wall Street that did it. The average person doesn't realize that. They think it's the main oil companies. It's not. It's Wall Street that sets the price of gas, oil, commodities every day on Wall Street. However, average simple person doesn't know that, thinks it's the gas companies who did it. So what happens when the price of gas goes way down? Because again, we're at $50 and $40 a barrel. Now gas prices and diesel fuel are even better than what the biodiesel guys were wanting. But they can't survive if they drop the price. They were at a price that was better than where it was, but they can't go lower or else they're not going to be in business. What did the truckers all do? Every one of them. Biodiesel, it was nice working with you. Appreciate you coming out when we needed you. A little bit too late, but even though it didn't matter, you came out. We used you for a few months. Price is now way down for regular diesel. We're gonna go back there. Thanks though. You American just did that to another American. Isn't that funny? So you can see how this works. Corporate profits chase lower wages. Wherever lower wages are, corporate profits are always going to be there. And you, not a corporation, not for corporate profits, still have that same mindset whether you like it or not. I'm not going to go pay $6 a gallon because this is an American gas station. I'm going to go to Circle K where the immigrant came in, in this example, and makes us pay $2 a gallon. Because now that I'm getting, 15, 16, 18 gallons of gas in my car, that's either times $2 or it's times $6. I'd rather go spend that additional money on groceries or something else. Thanks, but no thanks. That's what you call, technically, competition. A free market. The problem is, when corporations have the ability to bring that free market into your country, which leaves a lot of your citizens suffering, you start to make the entire country as a whole suffer. Slowly. Like a slow death cancerous system. Until something has to give. And that's when things massively change. But as Lindsey Williams also correctly said, and it hasn't happened just yet, but it's happening as you can see, they're going to make you so poor you won't be able to protest the elite. You can already see it. What middle class? There's no more gap. It's just the 1%, the very wealthy, and then us. That's how it goes now. So I'm not going to ever be hiring Indians in here on work visas to come work for me. Not going to happen. Some companies won't have a choice and say if we want to stay in business, just due to whatever nature of their business, we have to outsource. So trust me, they're going to outsource to stay alive, which means firing a bunch of Americans. But what happens when you have a bunch of Americans being fired with no place to go? Matter of fact, take that example in any country. What happens when you have that country's population being fired for other immigrants coming in? You're going to have some major unrest coming. People are going to be very furious. You're going to hear about shootings. Remember that little wave of shootings that happened after the first crash of 2008? Messed up worker, got laid off today, went back in, shot his place up. I was doing videos when that stuff was going on. So this, even then, would have been about 2009, 2010, because I was using Facebook to do my videos at first, before I jumped onto YouTube in, I think, 2010, the very beginning of 2010. So I remember a person came in, lost his job, shot up the place. Guy lost his home, burned his home down, took a bulldozer, ran it over. I mean, it's going to happen again. But anyways, so I know you've noticed, I've mentioned this recently, man, your videos are becoming a little far and few in between, J-Snip. Nothing has changed. My thoughts on everything have not changed. My thoughts on silver and gold have not changed. Period. What I think's coming in the future, I've always talked about, for all these years, has not changed. There's plenty to talk about. I'm just very focused, working very late at night at my house and weekends, trying to get this program finished and, everything ready so that I can release this and get it going on the internet. and then find people who want to sign up and use this. It's a very useful tool. It's like Log Me In or TeamViewer or some of the other ones, but way cheaper. So I'm just focused on that right now, big time, because if I can pull this off and it works well, maybe just maybe old J Snip 4 could retire a little bit early in his life. My mom seems to think so. She says she sees that in her psychic view. She is psychic. She reads palms, but she doesn't like read it like you think they read it. She touches your hand, and when she touches your hand and is kind of rubbing it with her finger, images come into her mind. And for the last 3 times she read my palm, and I don't get my palm read by my mom a lot. Years have gone by. Before I went to Tennessee, I had to read it. Once I got back from Tennessee, I had to read it. So that was 2013, so 2012 she read it. Middle of 2013 she read it when I got back. So actually late 2013. And then this year, 2015, or a couple months ago, I think. And she kept saying all 3 of those times, in the future I'm seeing like you have a job, you have money coming in. I can see that. But I keep seeing something else over here, like additional money. So you have this normal, like I see your normal thing, but I'm seeing just some additional. I don't know if you like won a lottery or won, I don't know, something. I can't say what it is. I keep seeing this. And I'm thinking, yeah, you've said that like the last 3 times now that you've read my palm. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea. And then earlier this year, I realized what it was, which was very recently, I should say, this year. Not earlier, but very recently. And that is this program. If I can get this all, I think this is it. This could be that extra cash that's going to come in. So I'm thinking, my mom said that, something was going to happen, and all this time ain't no extra money coming into Jason at 4's household, but she seemed to think so. My mom has a pretty uncanny ability to, use her psychic ability, whatever, to give you an accurate reading. She told my wife when we first met, so this was like 2001, 2002, you're going to have 3 children. My wife said, not ever knowing hardly me or my mom, period, especially my mom. I don't think your mom knows this, but I can't get pregnant. Cannot get pregnant. So she tells her mom, oh yeah, I met this guy Joe, and we, been dating for a while. So her mom knew my mom, and she came to visit one time, and she was talking to mom. She's like, yeah, God, I wish when you read Evelyn's palm or whatever you did, I wish you didn't tell her she wasn't going to have any children, or I wish you didn't tell her she was going to have children. She can't get pregnant, and I just didn't want to get her hopes up to be let down. Okay, maybe you didn't hear the part that my mom was psychic. We have 3 kids today. We did not plan on having 3 kids today. We only planned on having 2 kids. We thought, well, in vitro fertilization, it worked. She's pregnant with twins. We're hoping for a boy and a girl, the perfect family. We got 2 girls, just fine. Good, I'm satisfied. I've got 2 kids, I'm happy. Good. I'm replacing my wife and me, and as far as the society and world's concerned, we're good. And then about 3 years later, what do you mean you're pregnant? What? What are you talking about? Yep. Then it was time to be a little more careful. And old J Snip's been very careful all these years. Don't want a 4th kid or a 5th kid. I just don't want that. It's a lot to deal with. A lot of money to come up with to deal with also. And I don't want that many children. 2 and 3 kids where I'm so good. They're all girls, right? I don't have to try for the boy. I don't have to. I'm good with my little girls. I also thought, man, if I can get this company going and it actually works and becomes something, my kids don't have to worry about an employment situation in the future. Because no matter how bad things get in society, this type of service is always going to be needed. Remote help. Log Me In last year made $222 million. TeamViewer, I think, made around the same. Can I just have like 1% of that? Can you throw 1% of that Jason at 4's way? I'll have 3 or 4 employees, 5, 6, whatever I need. Make a few $1 million a year. Satisfied. Pay for the building, pay my employees, everyone have a nice salary. You guys, through me, can live the American dream, even though no one else is living it. Or I can live a massive American dream and pay you guys crap and say, well, if you don't like it, there's the door, get the hell out. No, I think I'd like to spread my money a little bit. I can live a good lifestyle and give some other people a similar opportunity. Yes, that's my company. Yes, I'm the CEO, so to speak. Yes, I should make some kind of pay. But am I going to make 380 times my average employee's wages like most of the big bank and big CEOs in America make today? No. But I'll have a regular, nice, whatever you want to call it, CEO salary. For God's sakes, I developed the entire thing. It's my idea to make this and do this, right? But I'm going to make sure my employees are taken care of too. They're going to say, I like working for Jason at 4, whatever, my company name is, which I do have a company name picked out, but I'm not going to say it yet because I still have to go and acquire that name through the state of Florida. So wish me luck on that. And as I mentioned one time before, I might need some beta testers soon just to test the software part of this out. Matter of fact, I might as well let you use the website too to test that all out, and just to see, how it works. Make sure you don't have any installation problems or errors or things like that. I'd appreciate a few people to just beta test it. All you're going to do is download it, install it on a computer, and then go to some other computer, preferably not in the same house, like on a different network, and log in remotely to make sure you can control your computer and it works. That's it. So when I get to that point, I'll let everybody know. Take care.